Hi guys, A-level economics exam is approaching. As you know that it's easier to answer questions once you get the understanding of the questions. But still there are a lot of things to consider. So here are top 10 exam tips for AS level economics P2. To have time on your side, remember you have 40 minutes to attempt each question, as you know that there are 3 questions to be attempted. Therefore, spend time accordingly. In case you spend 45 minutes in section A, that is quite possible as you have to read the source material as well. In that case, if this happens, take a note of it so that you can manage time in the next 2 sections, because 2 more questions to be attempted in that case. Use of relevant diagrams is important, even if statement of the question does not say about it, because it strengthens your knowledge, analysis and evaluation. That means you can draw diagrams in your evaluation as well, in your analysis as well, or while demonstrating your knowledge as well. Moreover, the diagram you use for demonstrating knowledge can also be used for your analysis. So it means you do not need to draw multiple diagrams. Once you have drawn a diagram, you can use it for your knowledge as well as your analysis. Tip number 3. Always remember all the questions that start from the command word assess must require both sides of the argument or the point you are making. Otherwise, you will lose significant marks for analysis, and on top of it, there will be no marks for evaluation. Like if you do not write the other side of your argument, you will miss marks for your evaluation as well. This is the very important tip I am telling you. Otherwise, you will lose your grade significantly. Point number 4. In section A, your top priority should be to find evidence from the source material for the point you are making. So never try to find the point from your mind or whatever you know. Try to find it from the source material. So if you find one, use that, because this will help you to get good marks. Otherwise, if there is a point mentioned there in the source material and you are writing maybe some other point which is not related to it, there could be a problem. You might not get marks because the source material is related to a certain economy. So if you are not talking about it, there is a problem. So that is very important once when you are doing section A. Always draw a fully labeled diagram showing what is taken on x-axis and on y-axis with precise points shown. Like let's say you are drawing PPC. So when you draw it, you need to mention what is taken on the x-axis and what is taken on the y-axis. And if you are locating point there, you need to show it precisely. Similarly, if you are drawing a demand-supply diagram, you have to show the point of equilibrium as well, along with what is being taken on the x-axis and on the y-axis as well, to get full marks. If there are graphs in the source material, always watch closely whether figures given are percentages or absolute values, because you know there is a difference. Otherwise, you might make a mess while writing your answer, I am telling you. For example, there is a downward sloping graph, right? Has a different meaning where prices are given in absolute value and where prices are given in percentage. So you need to see that whether there are percentages given or absolute value, because both might have entirely different meanings. In an 8 marker second part of the question that comes in section B and C, it is more about evaluation, you know that, but you should address it in your analysis too before doing your evaluation, because it will help you to come up with better evaluation. Always address the statement of the question when you are into your evaluation. Like let's say if it is written, assess the effectiveness of fiscal policy to reduce inflation, then in your evaluation you will mention that statement, that I believe, or in my opinion, fiscal policy is the most effective policy or is not the most effective policy. This should be the way, right? Okay, one more thing which I forgot to tell you, that is whenever the command word assess is there, you have to talk about the other side of your argument as well. So take the same example. If there's a question, assess the effectiveness of fiscal policy or assess the extent to which fiscal policy might be useful to reduce inflation. So obviously you will start with how fiscal policy will help reduce inflation. Fine, it's okay, you will develop it. But then you will talk about the limitation of fiscal policy to reduce inflation. That how is it possible, or in what situation fiscal policy might not be useful to reduce inflation. And then obviously you need to talk about another policy as well. It could be exchange rate policy, monetary policy, it's entirely up to you. But you have to mention at least one more policy, because in the end you need to compare both of them. So again, you will mention, let's say, monetary policy. You'll talk about it, how monetary policy would help you to achieve reduced inflation, and then you will talk about the other side of your argument, that is the limitation of monetary policy. This is extremely important, I'm telling you, whenever the command but assess is there, as I mentioned earlier. In an 8 marker, defining relevant concepts is not enough, as knowledge carries 3 marks. You know that. In an 8 marker, there are 3 marks for knowledge, 3 for analysis and 2 for evaluation. So you cannot get 3 marks for knowledge if you are just defining relevant economic concepts. So you have to go again deep into it, or you have to do something to get 1 more mark, that is 3. Otherwise you might get 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 for knowledge. Last but not the least, number 10, use of economic terms plays a key role to gain maximum marks. Like if you are talking about aggregate demand, inflation, unemployment, balance of payment, so these are relevant economic terms which can be used in different questions. So do use them. Do not show yourself as a layman, because the examiner wants to know that you have a deep down knowledge of economics. So for that, relevant economic terms are extremely important. So that is it. Thank you very much. Stay confident while attempting your paper. Bye bye.